Do you have a story to tell? Of course you do. You don't have to be a well-known female aviator before you think your story is worth telling. A mother of 5 in rural Iowa has a story to tell. A septic tank cleaner in upstate New York has a story to tell. Because they have family, and their family, like your family, wants to know their story. Happy or sad, lengthy or brief, we all have a story to tell. So why not start writing your memoir today? Howdy, welcome to Write Your Family History, where I help you learn how to quickly write non-boring family histories. My name is Devin Noel Lee, and I'm the author of A Recipe for Writing Family History, a quick process that takes you from sources to draft in a matter of minutes. All that remains after that is to revise and add more enriching details to make a non-boring family history. So if you're ready to learn more tips and tricks on how to do just that, let's get into today's video. Today's Tiny Tip Tuesday focuses on how to start writing your memoir before it's too late. My mother started writing her story, and I'm grateful for her efforts. But she stopped her story before she met my dad. I know the briefest sketch of them being at a concert and Dad being a roadie for an Ohio rock band called the Rebounds. Mom was dating some guy named Moose, and Moose told my dad to watch my mom for him. My dad took that to an extreme as they were later married and Moose was long forgotten. I love this story. My parents told it to me often in my childhood. But who is Moose, and what did he look like? Who are the Rebounds? What kind of music did they play? How did Dad become a roadie? I have so many questions, but both my parents have been deceased for over 10 years, and I will never know the full story. But notice the story isn't earth-shattering. It's just an event in my family's life that led me to being born. For me, that's pretty important, and for your loved ones, these small events are just as important. So, how do you start writing your memoir? Step 1, break down the process. The best place to start is with your mindset. A memoir is not written in one sitting. From personal experience, I began my book, From Metal to Rhinestones, A Quest for the Crown, with a tiny memory. I remember Miss Gloria Miller coming to my home economics class at Kempner High School to discuss beauty and self-improvement. She also promoted the upcoming Miss Fort Bend County Teen USA pageant. From that small initial memory, what follows eventually becomes a book on my shelf. It began with one memory in response to my husband's question, how did you get started in beauty pageants? I simply started writing about when the journey all began. I didn't worry about writing a perfect book the first time out. I have struggled with grammar all of my life. So I freed myself from this writer's block of perfectionism, and it unlocked my ability to write. Improving a story happens during the editing phase, but you can't edit something until you have a draft. Focus on writing your memories and experiences as they come to you. Start writing your memoir today, story by story by story. So I want you to start writing about a specific place you loved as a child or a memorable conversation. Or start talking about life-changing choices, how you met your spouse, why you chose your career, when you began playing softball. Step 2, utilize memory triggers. When trying to access our memories, we often need a memory trigger, or as I like to call it, a port key. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry and his friends' family, the Weasleys, were transported to a major Quidditch game via an old boot on Stoatsheed Hill. That old boot was a port key. What port keys do is to transport us to our past. Loose photos Photo albums, journals, letters, and keepsakes are all port keys to the past. When we look at them to help us write, we should ask ourselves the following questions. What was happening? Who was involved? Where did it happen? When did it happen? And what was happening outside the frame of the image? Backstory is so important. What does the photo, letter, or journal not tell? How did you feel at the moment? How do you feel now? What did you hear, smell, taste, touch, or see to help take a family member to that moment and explore it with their senses? Use these questions as memory triggers to help access your memories and bring your stories to life. Step 3, write in short bursts. Few personal histories are written in one marathon session. Instead, it's better to carve out a little time to write a little bit at a time. Many memoir writing educators will tell you to write 10 minutes a day, but I'm a realist. As a home educating parent for over 2 decades, I can never predict whether my day will have 10 minutes consistently. Instead, set a date with yourself to vacation in the past to record your memories. I remember one vacation where my husband gave me an entire weekend to myself. It was fabulous. Now, you may need to set a time every week for 4 hours or 4 hours once a month. It doesn't matter how you get it done. The point is to find the short burst of writing time to write the story of you. After the short writing burst ends, let your mind percolate until the next session. You'll find that each subsequent writing session becomes easier as the memories flow freely. Just don't let too much time lapse between writing sessions. Step 4, consider beneficial tangents. Starting to write your memoir is often easier than finishing it. I know because I'm still working on the second half of my pageant journey. While I want to say don't give up, I'm going to again be a realist. When you get stuck writing about one part of your story, move on to either another story or another project entirely. I have a rough draft of my experiences in pageantry as an 18-year-old young woman and then continuing forward for the next 3 years. That story is more challenging because I have to deal with not only pageants and self-esteem, but also coming of age and going to college, toxic boyfriends, and coming unto Jesus. I want to devote a lot of time to this project so that I tell it well, but I'm not in the right headspace to do that, and there's so many competing interests right now. So instead, I worked on small projects that document my story. This past year, I completed scrapbooks from the time I was 5 until my first year of marriage was over and I was expecting my first child. These scrapbooks actually do overlap the years that I need to write about for the forthcoming second set of pageant books, right? However, by working on the small stories that organize my photos and memorabilia from all aspects of my life at that time, when I'm ready to tackle the memoir, I'm more organized and ready to expand on those memories to a more detailed memoir. Let me challenge you to start writing today. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you're ready for the next writing tip, check out this video right up there.